everybody in the news. What's up, everybody? Hope you had a good Easter, and I hope you got time to spend time with your family and friends over this Easter wonderful resurrected Jesus Christ weekend. Hope you got to go out to the church where you attend and got to see Jesus. You got to hear the story or see a play done by the kids or teenagers, and also hear a message from the preacher on pastor on that subject. A lot of people wonder, sometimes, love's supposed to be an uncomplicated thing. It's supposed to be a thing that's pure and true. It's supposed to be one where we don't have to worry about our guests, or we don't have to make compromises just to appease our friends or our parents or our family with a certain person who we want to be with or who we don't want to be with. Because love is something you have to decide and accept. And it's something that you have to make the decision for. Nobody can make that decision for you. But other people will try. If you have controlling family members or parents, always try to control you or try to brainwash you into thinking, to diluting your mind or conning your mind to think things, that aren't true about somebody because they don't like them, and that's their way of what they want to do, to force that on your belief and thinking and ideology too. And so you have to go by what your heart tells you. Brainwashing is like that, and it's abuse. If that's going on, but people do these things when they don't like somebody or they try to change the view of someone, which is really wrong. Because if to tell you, it doesn't matter what people do. Because like I said, if there's real love anywhere with anybody or anything, they're gonna be with you. Anyway, it's just not gonna matter what anybody does. Because they're going to stay true and faithful, and if they don't, well, then they just really didn't love you, to begin with, or they just changed their mind because they just want to experiment with other people for a while until they actually reach that age so that they can be with that person, when they grow up. And people do these things, and some people do. There's people that are doing that, and but then some people just don't go with anybody until they get to the age and they stay faithful and they get with that person. And they don't care about what people got to say. They don't have to worry about their reputation or people thinking they're weird because maybe they want to be with somebody that a lot of people don't understand for whatever reason it is. But that's their decision, when they get older, if that's what they choose to do. And, it's not wrong when they are an adult. It is wrong, though, when they're not. But it's not wrong when they get to be an adult man or woman. So, and that's really true. So I know a lot of people will have an opinion on that because, controlling people always have that kind of assertion. They always got to put that little last word in there. They always got to have a little assertion there to put in there. But that's what they do. But, like I said, Jesus, his love was unselfish. His love was pure. It was divine. Because he simply loved all of us. He didn't care whether we were black, white, or whether we were handicapped or malnourished, or whether we came from a broken or dysfunctional family type of home, or if we came from a home where somebody had did things that were unspeakable, like somebody had molested you, or maybe had whatever they did, or raped you, or did these horrible, horrific things to you that should not have ever been done. But God still loved you, and God still makes a way and can heal you and repair you and make you a new person, a new creature. And no matter what people think, God will always be there to help you heal and help you overcome. If you have a trial, an issue, a struggle, if you're suffering because of some kind of physical or mental or emotional, or maybe some past guilt that you have from sins in your life, God has a way to repair all those things, because he does. And God will restore those things and restore you over time as you repair and as you grow. And that's what he does. Maybe you were abused by a family member. Maybe they beat you. Maybe they hit you. Maybe they coerced things out of you, got you to say things what they wanted you to say. Maybe they put words in your mouth and they just did that until you said what they wanted you to say, because some of that's going on. That's part of brainwashing. That's what they call brainwashing technique. And some controlling people that are very vindictive sometimes do that with their kids, teenagers and children. They don't like a person, they just keep doing that until they kind of sequester to what they want them to believe or what their ideal is, because they don't want them to have the ability to think for themselves, because they want to control every aspect of that person's life, which is so wrong, but that's what some parents do, because they're just helicopter moms and helicopter dads. They just want to be in every aspect or facet of their life, and they just want to be hammering all over everything. And you wonder why kids don't say nothing to their mother or father or to the parents who are doing these things, because they just take everything out of context. It's not because they're private, it's just that they don't want them to overreact and read into things that aren't there. I mean, some people are like that. So, God still loves them too, even though they're like that. So, we have to understand that God is here for everybody. God is there for the discouraged. He's there for the trodden, the down, the weary, the lost, the molested, the misfit, the handicapped, whatever, the mentally ill. God is there for everyone. I mean, Jesus Christ's death covers all those bases. And he's a Christ for everybody's situation. There's no situation too great or too difficult for Jesus to be there to foster, to do the right thing. And he will. And he'll use you in a major way to turn you into something, take you from where you are and make you into something whole and beautiful for him and for his purpose. And you'll become that gorgeous butterfly, and you'll do wonderful things for the Lord Jesus if you let him in your life and really love him as your personal Lord and Savior. Sometimes people will send people over to other people's houses, like neighbors, or they'll just start talking to all kinds of people and trying to, get, if they know a person and they don't like a person, they'll go and talk to them and stir up all kinds of stuff. This is what people do. And it's wrong, but that's what they do. And they don't even know the person, but they'll quickly jump to the side. Controlling people always do that. They'll always go talk to the other person, and without even knowing all the facts. And if that person doesn't like the person, the person's going to lie, because they always do. They always do. So, that's why relationships get, forged or get messed up. But God forgives all those who do those kinds of things, and God forgives those who have mental problems and illnesses. God knows that their mind isn't working right. And that's how you have to understand. If you have a parent that is mentally ill, that's always like a helicopter mom or dad, there might be some mental illness there. In a lot of cases there is. Maybe they were abused or molested, so maybe they think you're being abused and molested when really you're not. Maybe they think maybe somebody did something to you when they didn't, because I know people that have been in that predicament, have been accused falsely for things, but under a false cloud of suspicion. There's people that are out here that are like that. There's parents that are like this. You have to understand, God still has a place for them and forgives them too, because, mental illness can make people do and act and think weird things in their head and come up with weird suspicions without even no reason or fact on why they came up with them, So, it's really crazy and bizarre, but it happens sometimes. And people come in your life for a season and come out of your life forever sometimes, but then sometimes they only come out of your life for a little while, and then you're back in their life later on, and hopefully that's the case with a lot of people, that you come back together, because if you love people and you really are Christians, whether you have mental illness or not, you will make up and will come back together eventually. And it really doesn't matter. The past is the past, and the sins and on whatever you think, you talk those things out rationally instead of coming up with your own view and your own stance and letting a person speak their side, instead of just believing whatever you want to hear out there in the rumor mill and going to people and talking to them, and that's just so wrong, but people do it. So that's what I'm trying to say. Think about Easter, think about renewal, think about forgiveness, think about really, trying to let those demons go and stop trying to think you know it all and trying to, think you can figure everybody out. And, some people are like this. And, try not to be such a helicopter parent. Try to be more trusting and reasonable with your kids. Listen to them. Stop talking at them, but listen to what they got to say and hear what they're saying. And try to, really look at them as a whole, because God takes all people from all walks of life and, like I said, takes them from where they are and changes them into a beautiful, even if they were broken, and God mends those wounds, and God, helps those people to overcome that, and they become even better people than what they were before that horrible thing of whatever it was happened to you to make you broken. Maybe it was a strange relationship. Maybe it wasn't nothing really, really bad like what we were talking about a little bit ago. Maybe it wasn't none of that stuff, but maybe it was other things that were bad. Maybe somebody put you under a lot of physical and mental abuse and stress, and they just did it just for no reason. And there's a word for that. We call these people dragons in our life. And sometimes we have family members that are dragons that are hard to get along with, especially sometimes our parents can be the worst critics and the worst people sometimes because they can be just like that as well. But we have to understand that we have to forgive and we have to love people and realize that, hey, they're going through things, and realize that they have other things that might be going on that make them do the things and be the way they are. It's not just coincidence, but it's something that's going on. It's chemical or something that's metaphorical or neurological that's taking place, or maybe the certain medications they're on can make them behave and act in different ways as well. So we have to understand that we have to take all those things into consideration if that's the case, and realize that, hey, we love them anyway, and we have to be more understanding. It's hard to do that sometimes when someone's always talking to you mean day in and day out, even though they might have Alzheimer's, or they may have just real bad anxiety, or they're bipolar, and sometimes they can be really hateful and say some horrible things to you. And then other times they can be fine because, bipolar, even though they're on medicine, most days they're fine, but sometimes they, even on medicine, can still have bad days. It's just their temperatures are not so bad. So, sometimes they will say some horrible things to you or maybe act strange, but you have to realize that's the medicine. That's the illness talking. That's not really them talking. That's just the illness. So anyway, that's where God takes all those things to the cross, and He works with you no matter what you have going on in your life, and He knows that you're a child of His, and He loves you, just like I do. Take care, and I hope this helps somebody out there, and I hope everybody had a happy Easter, and I hope everybody has a good day in school today as well as for the rest of the week. And I'm glad that everybody in the United States, for the most part, was safe over Easter during their services at church and in their homes. Take care. This is Michael Lasillas from New Hunter Church of Christ. God bless you all, and peace out. I love you.